got a hand-me-down dog. I keep a second-hand cat. We all live together in a one-room run-down flat. I drive a Nash Rambler car. It never goes very far. I drink my pint of old granddad from an old green mason jar. But I got a brand new girlfriend. She's my brand new girl. And I'm sitting on top of the world, 'cause I got a brand new girl. She blows her money like a whirlwind. I got a brand new girlfriend. She drives a shiny new car.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the stream. Let me fix up the chat real quick. Pretty sure I have the wrong window there. Okay. Okay, that should be fixed up. We got this window so I can see. We got chat. I think we're good. So yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna adjust my camera, sorry. We're in the living room. Basically, what we're trying to do here, I don't know anything about fighting games at all. Growing up, rented some, didn't really learn the moves, didn't really learn the strategies, just kind of messed around and take it back to the rental place. And I thought, you know, it's about time, a little late to the game, it's about time I decide to try to understand how to play a fighting game. Like, I understand there's moves, and you're fighting through a series of enemies, and making your way to a boss, and then there's the competitive scene and building strategies. Right, but there's a difference between the theory and being able to play enough to go, oh, I actually know the moves for a couple characters, and I can develop active strategies. And not be, the goal here isn't to be an expert, but as the description says, I want basic fluency. My goal here is to dive into a genre, understand enough that I can, you know, goal here being play through the single player with at least one character, and go, okay, I didn't just button mash, I actually thought about what I was doing. So we're starting here with Street Fighter Alpha 2. And the reason why we're going with Alpha 2 is, firstly, I've got Alpha on the Game Boy Color, and I've been playing that in preparation for messing around with this a bit. And I'm curious to see how it translates, because honestly, Alpha on the Game Boy Color is a very functional fighting game. I've already felt myself getting a little bit better just doing that compared to when I started. Also, I've been fascinated with the Super Nintendo copy of, or port of Street Fighter Alpha 2. I also own this on Saturn, so playing this for a bit, it'd be interesting then to go back and play it on the Saturn and see what differences I see. So there's a little bit of interesting kind of growth and development of the game. And I know Alpha and Alpha 2 aren't the same thing, but they're closer, they're more similar than they are different. Give me a break. So yeah, and inspired a bit by some Retronauts episodes on the Street Fighter series, the Alpha series in particular sounded like it was meant to be a bit more approachable than Street Fighter 2, and definitely more than Street Fighter 3. So it seemed like a good option for, if I'm going to start somewhere, let's start with Alpha. Maybe we'll touch Alpha 3 at some point. I don't know. I own Alpha 2 on Super Nintendo and I own it on Saturn, so it's a good start. Anyhow, that's the preamble. So I've probably put about 3 or 4 hours into the Game Boy Color version, and I've put about 2 minutes into the Super Nintendo version, just enough to make sure that it works. It definitely looks better on the Super Nintendo than on the Game Boy. And there's more characters here too. Oh damn. So I've been going with Ryu as I've been doing this. Just, it seemed like a baseline. He's a character that is constant throughout the series, so I can probably use him as an anchor as I explore other Street Fighter games. Let's see what we got. Punch. Okay. Okay. Still Hadouken. Alright. That translates from the Game Boy. Dragon Punch doesn't seem to, though. So the Dragon Punch.
You big fool.
That's cool, the voices are in. So forward to down and punch would do the Dragon Punch in the Game Boy version. It's not training in this. Alright. So the super is also different. Alright. Okay. Alright. So something I need to figure out too is on a on the Game Boy, there's 2 buttons, and depending on how hard you press it, you do either a light or heavy punch or kick. I don't know what the buttons are for Super Nintendo. I don't have the manual for this game. So I did order a strategy guide, which should help, but it's not in yet, so I'm going in blind a bit. We might have to look up a move list. So on the Game Boy, one combo they cite is do a... Ah, shit. Is to do a jumping punch, low punch, and then Hadouken. I don't think that's just... I don't think that's a thing in this. I think it's a completely different moveset. Which is fine. Whew. Hey Doc, welcome to the stream. You missed all of my rambling about what we're doing and why. So far I've learned that the Hadouken and the Hurricane Kick? I don't remember what it's called. Those translate. Dragon Punch does not. And the Super Hadouken from the Game Boy also does not translate. So I don't know how to do any super moves. I don't know how to do my Dragon Punch. I don't have any combos. And before you do it, I've already ordered a strategy guide for this. It's not in yet. I know. You missed me talking and not playing video games. What we might do is, as I'm kind of learning this, so one thing that's also I need to adjust to, I know I'm ranting all over the place. I've read about some complaints about this. The shoulder buttons being some of the important buttons here. It's a little bit of pat your head, rub your tummy. Where like your one thumb isn't doing everything, you've got these two other fingers that are hanging out that also gotta do a couple of your punches or kicks. So, we'll see how we do, and if I'm miserable, we might have to look back in the meantime. So, yeah, Guy was also really fast and controlled the air really well in the Game Boy, so I'm not horrifically surprised. Oh my god, wait, is it down to up? I could swear I did a Dragon Punch there. I'm not sure how. Oh fuck. Yeah, Hadouken your phony baloney butt. Oh god. So, on the Game Boy, forward to down and punch will do a Dragon Punch. That, either I'm not doing it right, or it's just, that's not how you do it on the Super Nintendo. So, I don't know. I do not know. What are you gonna do? Oh! Try for first attack? Birdie, you silly motherfucker. I'm gonna trip your ass. I haven't looked, honestly. Have you looked for it at all? Ugh. So trip's really dope. It will... I mean, it knocks them off their feet. So they stop attacking for a moment and get some space. I mean, it honestly doesn't feel that bad. The stock one. I definitely appreciate having more buttons to work with. Like, on the Game Boy Color, oh, this doesn't work out. Ugh. Hurricane Kick's really hard to do something useful with. See, if someone's coming from the air, I would love to do a Dragon Punch to them. Oh. Oh. Not as good at doing Hadoukens from on the Super Nintendo controller. But right, they're only being strong and weak. I don't have to think too hard about doing the tripping kick. Aww. I feel like Dan's liking the air control, so I might let him have the air. Ugh, that's sloppy. Boom. Get out of here, Dan. So stuff I am finding is carrying over from the Game Boy is me thinking about, am I trying to stick more to the ground or am I trying to stick more to air combat? And small stuff like following up a tripping kick with a Hadouken because they're going to be coming up and probably recovering, and so that's an opening to get in. And also using the Hadouken to try to give some pressure on them. Ugh. No. Whew. But I don't know enough to be good. Oh fuck. That guy's really good at video games. Ah. the manual for the Game Boy copy of Street Fighter Alpha wasn't accurate. Wait, like the buttons to describe are backwards from the default configuration. Oh shit. And also it just didn't. It was a vague description. It didn't actually match how the controls were working. You can kind of see what I was doing there, where like I'm not playing well, but I am at least thinking about it. Where if he's gonna try charging on the ground, I'm just gonna throw Hadoukens, and if he tries coming from the air, I'll wait for him to land and trip him, and then make distance and do it again, and force him to come into my bullshit. This is the very rudimentary basics. I fumbled through doing the Game Boy thing. I don't actually know how to play. I also haven't faced most of these characters before, because some of them aren't even in Alpha 1. Oh, no! I don't know when to use the Hurricane Kick. So apparently, in later Street Fighter 2s... Ah, you took my move! In later Street Fighter 2 iterations, and I believe in Alpha, one major difference between Ken and Ryu is, I believe Ryu will hit once harder, but Ken will do more hits. So like when he does his Dragon Punch, it has more frames of hit. Which matters with combos, and it matters in 3 when you're parrying, I believe. Because there's just more hits to have to parry. So that was an interesting way to... Shit. I let myself. Are you wise in my bullshit? And this is mostly me just vomiting information that was said on the Retronauts podcasts. So apparently, like, low fierce kick and Hadouken can get you through most of Alpha 2 on the normal difficulty. Okay, so Sagat is, I believe, big about air control. So I'm just not gonna go over there. Oh no, that wasn't what I wanted. fuck me. He's got that lovely combo of his. Honestly, I have to go back and listen to their alpha episode. They might have. For Street Fighter 3, they talked a lot about the differences there, and some of that just because of, you know, the mixed reactions to the earlier versions and the development history of it. Like, there's a big story to tell there. Oh, Kuma, great. Great. It's just great. So Kuma is usually pretty awesome. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like shit like that. You can't take my sweeps! I'm gonna get my ass kicked this round, probably. So, like, in Super Street Fighter 2, when Akuma shows up, you have to not lose and beat the game within a certain period of time. And M. Bison just gets wrecked by Akuma suddenly, and then you're fighting Akuma. And then, like, Akuma just flies around the screen and destroys you. So I was kind of expecting that here. Akuma's Island. Akuma! Yeah, the same thing went in my head. I did not expect to beat arcade mode the first go around. Well, I guess you can see the intro. The difficulty was medium difficulty. Medium damage. Like, this was... I don't know what automatic does. So, let's see if we can find some moves. So one thing with these guides is they all have like legends for what keys to, or what buttons to press, and then that's what it uses to tell you what the moves are, and it's just not intuitive at all. Oh god. So there's also the concept of counters, which I think is also in the Game Boy version, and my brain hasn't brained it yet. And there's air blocking. Also, apparently there's a Shinakuma that you can fight, which is just stupid hard. Neat. You'll probably need to close the doors and stuff then. Choosing a winning pose. Color outfits.
You have all fun?
Yeah, so far. Looking up each character section now to get to reuse. Lentos. Ryu, here we go. Dragon punch is forward, down, down, forward punch. Okay. See if we can do a dragon punch. Doing dragon punch is hard. Okay. 4 down. So yeah, like, go straight 4 down then diagonal, which is a thing. Well, you cannot defeat my trips. I wonder if the, right, because they did some decompressed ones also, right? The sprites. Ugh. I can see the. I might be seeing the draw. I might be seeing the draw to a fighting stick with this pad. Because I'm practicing just trying to do the dragon punch. Oh man, that's a really cool dragon punch. I think I understand how to do it now. Okay, yeah, so to finish my sentence, they've done the decompressed. No, there's decompressed audio, but there's also, I thought, before emulation could emulate the chip that's being used in this, what folks had done is they had decompressed the sprites themselves and then made a ROM, a larger ROM with the decompressed sprites. I was thinking if that's the case, then I wonder if you could just put the decompressed images on a ROM on like a flash card. Because I don't know if flash cards probably emulate this chip nowadays. But if they don't, I wonder if you just like have like a double-sized ROM on a flash card, and that's good enough. It is harder to do a what are you doing, silly bitch? No, I know that. I'm just mentioning that because I'm thinking, like, if you wanted to get the patched ROM to remove the sound loading lag, and you wanted to put that on a flash card to play on real hardware, I don't know if it would support the sprite decompression necessary to do that. And then I thought, well, if that was the case, I wonder if the decompressed sprites exist. So if I remember correctly, the thing with... Well, I don't know how the PCM placement works. But I know with the sound lag, like you and I still on the same video, like it's loading the PCM samples into the PCM chip, and it's just blocking on doing that instead of finding clever places to do it during other loads and stuff. So I assume that's what's happening with those patches to remove that latency, is they're asynchronously loading and unloading samples at different spots. So Charlie is who I'm stuck on in the Game Boy Color. I need to learn combos and stuff to actually get past him in that. Alright, see how this goes. Alright. Yeah, I expected that. So I'm getting used to the Dragon Punch. Like having to go down and back in is tricky. Alright. Down, down, forward. Okay, down, down, forward, forward, down, forward, forward, plus that. Okay, let's see if I can do a super fireball. What's question mark mean? And your crazy thing you got going on. Okay, so I can hit different punches. Sorry, since I have my special meter up, I was wanting to try using it. Let me get back to reuse move list. Down, down, forward, forward, down, forward, forward, plus punch. Okay. Looks like the FX Pack Pro is... Okay. I assume based on the name it also supports emulating the Super FX chip. So another motivator for getting a stick for this thing, like my thumb kind of hurts from trying to do the Dragon Punch. So apparently Adon was one of the first characters you fought in Street Fighter 1. Oh no, see that, or you fight him right before Sagat. I don't remember which one. Like he's supposed to be a similar fighting style to Sagat, or is it in Muay Thai? But he's like just not as good as Sagat. Okay, so that. Oh yeah! I did it! I did it! I did it! If you make a high score, you want to try the way to get... You mean like fight Shin Akuma? Because that you have to get like 3 perfects and a bunch of other stuff. So apparently you can also hit all 3 punches, which I think does an even better one. Ugh. Man, trying to time to do that right. Oof. Oh, I might be mistaken. I think I can pick from Akuma in the arcade mode already. And I know you said versus. I didn't look at versus, but I assume if I can play as him in arcade, I should be able to do it. Oh, interesting. I don't have a second controller plugged in, so they may not actually let me select versus mode. That would be something to do if you and I were ever hanging out and playing Street Fighter. How do you like to play? Ooh. I feel like this Super Nintendo version with the medium difficulty is a lot easier than the normal difficulty in the Game Boy Color. I'm having trouble getting past the third guy. There's also a lot more difficulty settings in this, so maybe... Fuck yeah, I feel like a total actual real person when I can do that. Brilliant. See, I don't have a second controller around, so we won't do that tonight, but we can do that. We can do that another time. Oh, I see. So that's to select Shin Akuma from versus no, not Akuma. Just playing, man. Just playing. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, that's so confusing because I'm like, I think you could already play Akuma, so I'm super confused. Trying to do the fierce special. That's hard. Ugh. You should give up on it. super cool end. Super combo finisher. Look at that. Big Dong Bushman playing video games. Hey man, I didn't think I'd ever get to do that in my life. I know things are going pretty easy right now with this version of the game, but I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. Being able to do my supers really convenient. Because it's helpful. Like, I could pull off supers in the Game Boy version. I don't land them super often, they're usually blocked, but, you know. Aww. He's gonna do a special. He's gonna rock my socks. Oh, Dragon Punch, dick. Oh, Super Dragon Punch because I'm super awesome. It felt kind of nice to get to do a Dragon Punch against Sagat. Let's see if the sweep the leg continues to work on Akuma. That worked really well. Well, so far, he seems to be a bit better than before. I was curious if that was going to be a legitimate strategy because almost what we did last time, and yes, that's a consistent way to beat Akuma, at least on this difficulty. Just sweep the fuck out of him. Is this actually the end of Apocalypse Now, where like you make it to the encampment, and Akuma's just gone crazy with the locals and started his own cult? It didn't play credits before, did it? I mean, you can fight Shinakuma if you meet all the specific circumstances for it. Maybe? Like, at least in this fact, they talk about the ending, and it, like, what they have for Listen for Ryu matches this. I will say, the only other Street Fighter game I played to any real extent was Special Championship Edition for Sega Genesis. I beat that on the easiest difficulty with M. Bison basically by spamming the tornado the whole time. So I consider this a step up, where I actually did moves. Man, I remember when, like, Blockbusters were purging their Super Nintendo games, right? Like, you remember when buying retro games meant, like, going to Blockbuster and buying the games on their, like, Buy Our Games shelf that were, like, their old rentals? I remember buying a copy of Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo, like, just Street Fighter 2. And after having rented Turbo a lot and rented, yeah, you remember and you remember, like, even Super Street Fighter 2, playing that, I didn't know the speed difference. It is so slow. It is so slow. And if I were less lazy, I would have had that prepared. And so I could, like, show the difference. Like, I don't know that I would ever want to go back and play it. Maybe it showed credits because I never lost. But, like, it's a nice looking version of Street Fighter 2. Right? Or not Street Fighter 2. It's a nice looking Street Fighter game on the Super Nintendo. Right? Like, I think this is a really cool port. My thumb is starting to hurt me, so I may not go too much longer on this particular stream. I also did not expect to beat the game twice. I figured we'd get like 2 or 3 guys in, hit a block, and then start digging through facts and trying to figure out how to strategize past. And then that fight would have been the narrative for this stream. What we'll probably do instead is... yeah. What we'll probably do next go around is start cranking the difficulty up and see how high we can go. Because I think there's that, and also I may want to get a different controller so that my hand can last a little longer. Because I think I'm going to have to start getting better with counters and blocks and combos. Because, like, I'm doing the flashy stuff, but, like, that's not That's not near the whole game. Like, that's stuff that I assume you just, like, gently, nudge in there, and then you're building up what you're doing with combos and things. So that's the game. I mean, that's one option. Firstly, maybe there's aftermarket controllers, and secondly, like I talked before about putting together an arcade stick and wiring it to like some throwaway broken SNES controller. Like, I think I'm gonna want, like, at least the Dragon Punch is specifically what's motivating me here, because you have to go like forward, down, down, forward, right? Did I get that right? Yeah, forward, down, and then down, forward, plus the punch at the same time. And, like, I feel like having that tactile click, yeah. Having that click is going to help me time it, because I can actually feel the buttons moving. Like, we talked before about, hey, you want to get a stick? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to need it. But, like, just through this experience, like, it was really hard to figure out if I was pressing it right. Like, I was jumping and stuff because my thumb was moving weird. I get it, I think. I get it. And, like, I definitely don't want to spend the money on an of-the-day arcade stick, and then after that, either break it or mod it, because that all seems like a waste. So I don't know what I'll do in the short term, because like the joystick thing, that's a longer term project. But I think I'm gonna need something. If there is like a, well, yeah, like, I don't want to do like this. I want it to be more modestly sized if I can, but just be able to mount the taller buttons in it, like the clicky, what are they called? The type of switch, leaf switch, like a leaf switch button, and then also have a joystick mounted that has the gates in it. Yeah, arcade parts. That's the thought, because at the end of the day, those just need voltage and ground. So those, like, Hori makes really big ones, but you don't need it to be that big if you're just putting 6 or 8 buttons plus the stick. And I saw it on Etsy, some people put them together for like USB. So there might be something there too where I could buy one that's basically put together and then just rewire it. And that doesn't look like it costs that much, and like I don't have to deal with cutting the wood or doing any of that stuff. I just have the stick. It would be important to me that I could have it on my lap, because like where I'm sitting now, this is kind of how I'm playing the Super Nintendo. And one thing I just thought that's gonna suck. This is wireless, right? This is wireless because I'm probably 15 feet away from the Super Nintendo right now, and I don't have to worry about the dogs running over stuff. That's going to go away if I wire a controller in. Oh, for the USB one, I'm literally just thinking buy it for the buttons in the case, and then just rip out like whatever microcontroller they have in there doing the USB. Yeah. Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter Alpha 2. Isn't that neat? Yeah, we'll call the stream here. And this has been I Don't Know What I'm Doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. I know a little more. I mean, there's that too. But I still like, I want it to be something that actually has the parts I'm looking for in it. Like, you did it with the PS2 controller, but, like, I don't want that kind of controller for this. Because otherwise I could just use the pad at that point. But anyway, as I was saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I know a little bit more. That's what the whole point, right? So I'll see you later. Have a good night. Keep on doing the video games.
I got a